Oh, hey, Labid, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we back for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today's video is a bit special for me, as many of you out there know that I've been working with Navitus Parfums to bring you my fragrance collection. Within that, I have 5 fragrances called the Enamored Collection, and today I wanted to just take some time to talk to you about one of them individually. I know that I've done these first impression videos where I did a lot of head shaking and saying thank you or I appreciate that, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to hear about these fragrances from me and kind of the inspiration behind them. Now, I know that there have been some reviews going up thus far, and I really do appreciate all of the feedback there, good, bad, or indifferent. And I wanted to make sure that I can talk to you about these fragrances, what they meant to me, and kind of the backstory behind them. Now, because I am really partial to this collection, obviously, I brought it to market. I wanted to make sure that, again, speak to you about it, but I won't be putting an official rating on them because, well, of course the rating would be high. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. Now, as you can see from the title, today's video is really about the first fragrance that we talked about and all of these first impressions. This one may be known to you as number 1, but this one is Exalt Nuit. Now, this one is the packaging here for it, right? So you have this sleeve and a lot of good information there on the sleeve, and then you open it up as such. I'm gonna tell you what the best part I like about this packaging, all right? And I really don't talk about this much, but here you go. Yeah, that click right there. It just sounds like quality. I won't talk about the box, but I will talk to you guys about this thing here. So here is the juice. This is the one in the black bottle, as you can see. And we changed things up a bit in terms of the presentation. All of these bottles come with a matte finish. You have the gold foil, and of course, you have the pressurized atomizer. Now, all of my fragrances come in a 100 ml presentation, and also another key thing as far as the presentation goes, especially if you are a reviewer, is this card on the inside. That's one of the things that I liked about Stephen's collection, and I wanted to continue to carry over. On the front here, you have the Enamored Collection. I wanted to make sure it was an easy call out of what this collection was all about. You have the name of the fragrance, and then on the back of the card here, you have some key ingredients, the top notes, the mid notes, and the base, and then you also have a special call out to the perfumers on this one, which happens to be Francis Kurkdjian and Jerome Di Marino. Now, for those of you out there who are Navitus pros, which means you've already explored Stephen's collection and are moving on to mine, you may notice some subtle differences in the presentation. The bottle is a little bit slimmer, which gives it a little easier grip and feel in the hands, and obviously here you have the matte presentation, and the label has changed as such. But enough about that, let's get down to this. Now, the inspiration behind this fragrance really came here in my little black book here. All right, so what I did is I wrote down what I wanted this fragrance to really be about, and a lot of you call this the brief, but this is really what I wanted the fragrance to be about, the emotion that I wanted this fragrance to evoke, and I kind of listed that on the fragrance a bit in terms of the card, as you have just 3 adjectives that describe what this fragrance should make you feel like. But I wanted to be vulnerable for a bit and share this with you and give you the inspiration, the true inspiration behind this fragrance. Now, the name on this fragrance tends to confuse people a bit because they're like, what does this mean? If you've been around in fragrances for a while, then you know Nuit translate over into night, but Exalt is English, and it pretty much means to raise in rank, to raise in honor, and to also, well, be Exalt Nuit. Okay, this thing here to me is a very nice fragrance, one that I've been captivated with, and it really hit each of the points that I was looking for within a fragrance. And I'll tell you exactly what I wrote verbatim. So I was looking for a fragrance that had the mood of being mysterious, sophisticated, and addictive. And if you look at some of the note breakdown on this fragrance, I really think that the notes that played along with this really got the job done. Now, one of the other definitions for Exalt is to really intensify something, and I feel that this fragrance can really help intensify that night situation, and I think we did that well. So here's what I told the perfumers, all right? Success, the ultimate addiction, is the inspiration behind this fragrance. All right, Exalt Nuit needed to be the epitome of modern luxury and sophistication. If you look at the color, it just pops out. You have that black and gold, something that to me really symbolizes success and sophistication, as you see that in a lot of these types of situations. I also went on to say that Exalt Nuit is a fragrance for those out there who enjoy the finer things in life. And again, if you look at the note breakdown on here, we really did just that. You have some rich tobaccos, you have this decadent cacao within this fragrance, you have some deep benzoin in here, and again, all of these things together just come off in a good light. Now for the official note breakdown in this fragrance, in the top you have Italian bergamot, you have nutmeg, you have cacao, and you also have olibanum. In the heart of this fragrance, you have some notes that are pleasant and strong in their own right. You have some cistus, you have jasmine absolute, you also have Madagascar pepper, you have anise, and you have Indonesian benzoin in the heart. And then in the base of this fragrance, well, things begin to get a little, well, rich. Now for those of you out there who are tobacco lovers, you have two types of tobacco in here, and I know some people thought I was a little bit crazy for having a fragrance with two types of tobacco in it, but it really came off well. Those two tobacco notes include Bulgarian tobacco absolute, and then you also have African tobacco absolute. In addition to that, you have some American cedarwood, Haitian vetiver, and some Indonesian patchouli. Now I know you heard about these notes in the first impression videos, but these are the key ingredients to really make up this fragrance and really help bring it to life. So as I stated, I want to Exalt Nuit to be the epitome of modern sophistication and luxury. And if you think back to the first impression videos, to what people were saying, they said, hey, this smells like someone who is dressed up, a guy that knows what he's doing, and this fragrance really translates that well. To me, on first spray of this fragrance, you get something that definitely smells rich. There's this freshness, this underlying freshness in this fragrance brought in from that Italian bergamot that you get in the top, but this one is not a fresh fragrance. Now, as I stated, I really wanted this fragrance to be the epitome of modern sophistication and luxury. And when I think about how this fragrance comes off, especially on that first spray, I'm definitely get some of that. So there's this underlying freshness within this fragrance that really comes with that Italian bergamot here. Now, when you think about that Italian bergamot, I want you to think of anything that is citrusy or fruity, because it's not that at all. It just adds this emphasis of freshness to it. On first spray, to me, I really get something that is mysterious, addictive, and definitely sophisticated. There's some sensuality in this fragrance as well. I think that this one can be worn in date night situations, but to me, this one is elegant, it's rich, it's bold, it's mysterious, and it definitely does stand out. Now, when you spray this thing, it's not gonna take you long to smell it. That rich vibe from this fragrance really comes off. It just pops as soon as it hits the nostrils. It's in the air and it's ready to go. This fragrance to me is one that I'm extremely happy with, especially in that opening. As I already mentioned, that cacao is really gonna come out as a star player, and as it begins to transition, you're gonna get some warmth in this fragrance. Then you're also gonna get some of that tobacco, and the tobacco is definitely going to be there. Now, I know tobacco fragrances can at times come off to be overwhelming, but I don't get that with this fragrance. I didn't want something that was going to punch you in your face and be extremely difficult to wear. That's not this fragrance at all. This fragrance is, although you have some standout notes in here with having those two types of tobacco, don't get me wrong, you're definitely going to smell the tobacco in this fragrance. You're definitely going to smell the cacao. You're going to smell the nutmeg. You're going to get that bergamot. But none of these fragrances, or these notes, shall I say, really come off in any way that's pungent, all right? These things really mesh together well, and it's super well blended. But again, tobacco is tobacco, and with the double dose of it, you're definitely going to be able to detect that you're getting something that is along that side. That cacao there within this fragrance, it gives it a slight gourmand edge, and you guys know that I am a gourmand guy, and this is along those lines. I really wanted a fragrance that hit those points, that was ready to go for fall and winter, as I knew that that was the time frame we were shooting to release these fragrances. So with that said, man, this one here really hit those points for me. And if you think of the quality of these fragrances, I know some people out there like, what is the quality like though? Who are you using? Listen, man, using Francis Kurkdjian with this fragrance and Jerome Di Marino, you may not know his resume as much, but But Francis Kurkdjian, you definitely know his resume. He's brought some amazing fragrances to market, and you're definitely going to know what you get with that. We told him to spare no expenses, so this fragrance is not lacking on anything. You're going to get everything you need with this fragrance. For me, the projection and longevity on this fragrance is something that's definitely going to help you stand out. I'll tell you a story about this fragrance that I did not share on the first impressions videos because I didn't feel like it was super relevant, and I would have to go into talking about the notes and certain things on this fragrance. But one of the things that I want to talk about on this fragrance is during my testing time of wearing this thing, obviously we're in the quarantine stages. I wore this thing coming to pick up some food, coming back from picking up some food, and I walked inside of the gas station to pump some gas. You know, I always go inside, use my card. I'm just that type of guy. So I went in, used the card, man, and the lady behind the counter, she was like, "Excuse me, sir, what do you have on? It really smells nice." And I'm like, "Hey, well, this is actually a fragrance that I'm working on. I'm just testing it out, giving it a run, see how it performs." And that's really some good feedback. I appreciate that. She said, "Listen, whenever you come out with this fragrance, I really would love to know because I want to get this for my girlfriend. I think this is something that she would rock." Now, to me, again, I wanted to make fragrances that were really easy to wear, appealing to the masses, and one that the entire family could enjoy. And I feel like as a man, this is a fragrance that I would obviously rock. And then also, depending on, you know, some females out there say that they would rock this thing, and this is a fragrance that a lady said she would love to smell on her significant other. So I'm super excited about this fragrance. Longevity on this thing really does work for me. I'm getting 8+ hours in terms of longevity. This thing, for as the projection on this thing, this projects for about 2 to 3 hours before it begins to settle down a bit more, but it's definitely alive and well on this fragrance. For me, with this fragrance, projection, longevity, sillage, all really important, and they work with this one here. As this one begins to settle down, it comes closer to the skin, and I think it's good, because the situations that you would wear this one in, if you are that bossed up guy rocking this fragrance to a corporate event, or if you're rocking this out for an event with the lady, a nice dinner or whatever you're going to do on this one, man, I think that this fragrance does project enough, but it does sit close enough to the skin where you're not going to choke people out, because again, you have some strong notes in this scent. It's one that I really love and I go back to a lot, and I went back a lot to this fragrance as I was doing my testings. Actually, I used all of the bottles of this, okay? This is one that I'm super excited about, and I'm talking to you about this one first because it was #1 on the list in terms of first impressions. I know some of you out there have this fragrance now. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this specific fragrance. Let me know if you think Exalt Nuit is going to be a fragrance that you would rock, and if you do have it, let me know in the situations that you would wear this fragrance. Now, one of the things that I asked the team to do is we sat back and strategized to really make a way that the fragrances came out to a good, affordable price. And one of the things that we really weren't concerned about with is making a ton of money on this. I know some of you may think otherwise based on the price point, but it is business, okay? And because of this, and you guys have been rocking with the channel for a while, we wanted to make sure we provided you some discounts out of the gate. Now, along with that, I know some of you wanted to smell the fragrances or hear what other people had to say that weren't reviewers and weren't doing first impressions. So we decided to extend the promotion, the pre-order sale out for a bit longer. And that means you purchase 1 bottle, you can get 20% off. You purchase 2 bottles, you can get 30% off. 3 bottles, 35% off. 4 bottles, 40% off. And if you purchase 5 bottles, you can get 45% off the entire order, which gets your bottles as low as $107. Listen, we're shipping worldwide, almost 90 countries available, in free shipping if you purchase 2 bottles or more. I hope you guys are happy with this fragrance, as happy as I have been creating this fragrance. One of the ones that I think a lot of you out there will enjoy for this fall and winter time. I would love to hear your takes on it if you have it. Again, if you saw other people's, you know, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm not going to go really deep in terms of the performance on this fragrance. I want those of you out there who have this fragrance to speak to it, and also I'm not going to give you an official rating because obviously you know what I would say this fragrance is. As always, I'm your boy, Big Beard Beat. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we are back again. Represent for Fragcon, man. Show your boy some love and hit the goddamn bell.